Afternoon students. Today we are going to work with object relation mapping. So this is the frameworks of Django. So we are going to work on object relation mapping. The video will show you how to work with that. Django ORM. The Django web frameworks include a default object-oriented mapping layer that can be used to interact with the application data from various relationship data such as SQLite, Postgres, and MySQL. This is a web framework which is used for mapping your application and database. It can be any database. It can be SQLite, Postgres, or MySQL. At present, you work with MySQL. Today, you are going to work with Postgres SQL. So ORM main goal is to transmit the data between a relational database and an application model. So ORM automates this transmission such that the developer need not write any SQL query. Assuming that I don't want to write any SQL query, the everything should be done by Django itself. So when you want to work with that concept, you can go to this ORM model. It is to transmit the data between a relational database and application. A database is nothing but the database what you're using, and application is the program written in Python. It can be done using some models. So ORM as a form, the name maps object attributes to the respective table fields. It can also retrieve data in that manner. This makes the whole development process fast and error free. Why it's a fast and error free? Now if you don't know database or you have issues with the queries, so you'll go wrong with the queries. So here we are least bothered about the queries. The ORM will do the queries on its own, right? So now this is the ORM model. So here we are creating a model, that is student. In student, I can use ID, roll number, name, student, class, and department. This is a Python object, and this is a table and database created. So here in the model student, I have given ID. So it will take it as ID, roll number, name, student, class, and department. Here I am not writing any query. The object itself will be converted to the query, creating and storing of data. This is about your object. This part is about your object and the database. So the problem solved by ORM. ORM have certain benefits over the traditional approach. The main advantage of ORM provides a rapid development, makes the project more portable. It's easier to change the database if we use ORM. For example, here I am writing a database. Here this is the SQL query and this is the Django ORM. So at the top we have a SQL query and at the down we have Django ORM. That is nothing but the model where we are using. So for that, I require a database. So in the previous class, we have learned about MySQL. So today we are going to work with the new database, that is Postgres. So now as we want to connect database, we need RDMS. You can work with any any SQLs like MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server, or Postgres. So I'm working with Postgres. So to install Postgres, you have to go to the Postgres official site. Go to that, select the OS version, and you can download the Postgres software. Once you are downloaded, you can set up the same. So in this also we have two methods. One is the shell commanding, and second one is pgadmin. If you want to work with a GUI base, you have to go for a pgadmin. So you can have application with name pgadmin, download it, install it, you'll get that GUI based. So working with Postgres. Once the Postgres is installed, you can work on pgadmin. If you don't want to work with pgadmin, you can go to shell programming. You can write the commands. Now here I want to create a new database with name confo. Okay. So the commands to create is create database, the database name, a semicolon. Once that is done, I want to list that slash list. If you want to connect, at present it is connected with Postgres database, that is by default database. So if I want to connect to my database, just give slash c and the database name. It will connect to your database. And if you want to view your table, slash dt. So these are the commands. I guess you have worked with these commands in your this oracles, and it is little bit changes are there. So once this is done, I need to make some changes, right? I may need to make some changes. Now what changes you're going to make? I am going to make the changes in settings.py. I have to provide the path of the database. Here engine Django database backends Postgres SQL. The name of the database is confer, username is Postgres, password is 1234, and host is localhost. The password what you are given and the root this will change according to you, and the database will also change according to you. The host is the localhost. If you are giving it to some other this hosting, like you are putting it on internet, you have to put the IP address of that particular system, but at present you are working with localhost. So this is about the database. That is the default database settings. What you are going to make changes in settings.py. Once this is done, I have need use a connector, as I am working with two different softwares. One is database software and one is Python. So I want to install a connector. I want to work with pip install PSYCOPG Pisco G2. This is the connector. Once you are done with that, you can go for migrations. How to work with this? Now, once you have worked with installed database, you are given the particular path in settings.py, then you comes to model. At present, you have worked with models. You are given it directly class, destination, then ID, string, then name is name string, right? That was done in the previous class. But here we are going to work with from Django DB import models class destination models dot model. Here we are working with a models type. Here name models dot. Now name is a character field, so you have to tell that we are working with models dot character field, as the database will not come to know that it is string this. So we have to work with models dot character field. Here models is compulsory, and the field what you are using, character field, maximum length is 200. This you have worked with database also. While creating the database, you give the data types the same manner it is worked over here. Name models character field, maximum length is equal to 200. Image model image field, upload to, you can give the folder name, that is pics or any folder name. Then description is equal to model dot text field. Offer is equal to models boolean dot field default false. This is true or false. Now for example, if you are working with a condition where I have to give an offer, whether the offer is valid or no, yes or no, that. But in this example you have skipped offer, just for to show you this I have worked with offer. So once this is done, I need to go to settings.py, and there I have to provide a app name, that is my web one.app, myweb one.config. So here instead of my web, you can give the app name what you are given, that is my, here I have given the app name as website, website.apps website config. Now once this is done, you can go to your PyCharm. There you can check that there is a migrate folder which will be empty. Now once all this procedure is done, you can go to a command, that is python manage.py make migrations. Once this is done, as your worked image, you have to install pip install pillow. To upload the images, I require a pillow. What is pillow? Just to upload the images. Once in the next example, when you work with that admin module, you'll come to know how to what is exactly the pillow. Okay, and once this is done, I can go to python manage.py sql migrate the app name and the file created by that. And once that is done, python manage.py migrate. But this was about your ORM. So now we'll start with your practical session. Assuming that you have installed Postgres and you have created a default user, I'll go for the further part. Now here I will go to SQL shells. Go to your run, go to SQL shells. You can go to SQL shells or you can go to pgadmin if you want to work with GUI base. Once you go forward to SQL shells, you'll get this command prompt. Already I have worked with the commands, so I will close this. I will go to SQL shell. Here it will ask for the host. You can press enter because you're working with localhost. At present you're working with Postgres. Then the port is 5432 and username is Postgres and password is 12345. Done. So this is a command prompt where you're going to work with your commands. So here localhost, I have pressed enter. If you want, you can write it. Otherwise, you can just press enter. If you want to change that, you have to write that. Once this is done, I have to create a table. So what is the command? Create a database. What is the command? Create So command is CERAT, create database anything lotus contour and just a semicolon. Already a database is created with name contour. So I no need to create one more database. You already have created a database with name confer. You create the database with name confer. I have created confer because I'm working on that project, right? So if you want to work with your projects, you can give the name same name as the project name. It's not a compulsion to give the same name. It depends on you whether to give the same name or to give some other name. Once this is done, if I want to check the list which all database are there in my database, so it will show you the database list. Now I want to connect to that particular database. So slash c, what is the database name? Yeah, I'm working with confirm. Okay, got there is a change in the prompt. So once this is done, I will go front D. Here, these are the tables. If you created a database right now and if you put data, you will not get anything because there is nothing. Here I have migrated and done all the changes, so it is showing me a number of tables. But if you have created a database, just will go for one more command, that is create database apc. Okay, the database is created. I will go to c abc. So here web gt, it will show me nothing because it is blank. So this was the example what I had showed you. Now this much is over. I have created a database. I have checked whether the database is there or no. Once this is done, I have to go to settings.py. In settings.py, what I have to provide? I have to provide the username and password. So here the Postgres name is confer, username is Postgres, password is 12345, and host is localhost. So the changes will be only the database name. What database name you are going to provide, that is the changes you are going to make. So where you are going to make the changes, you are going to make the changes in setting.py. Once this is done, I need to install what? I need to install a connector. So pip install psycop g2, press enter. Already I have that in my system, so it is giving me that requirements already satisfied. For this you require a internet. If there is a issue with some installation, you have to upgrade pip. For that the command is pip install upgrade pip, then you can work with that command. Once this is done, I have need to work with what? Models. So in the previous examples what you have worked, you have given the models directly. Here I have made the changes. The that is class destination, I am working with models concept, that is model. So name is equal to models character field maximum length image uploaded to this description text field. So these are the changes what I am going to make in models.py. As already told, all the models or destination class will be present in models.py. Once this is done, what are you going to make the changes? I need to go to settings.py. In settings.py, what I have to make changes, here I have installed apps at the top, somewhere here. Here I have to provide app name, that is website.apps, website config, then this and a comma. Okay, once this is done, I have created my database. I have given the database name, username and password. I have made the models, then I have added installed apps in that. After that I have to work with the command manage.py, make migrations. So once you go to this make migrations, here already I have made it as a migration has been done, so it is saying no change needed, but in your system will get some different changes. Okay, once that is done, you'll get a migration folder. In migration folder you'll get this file, right? We'll get this file. Before this, if before this command the migration folder will be blank, you can check that before working with this command the migration folder will be blank. Once this is done, my migration is over. If you don't get errors, that means your migration is over. Right? I will make some changes. Which I'll go to models. I'll write some more no field in this, so we'll come to know whether changes have been made or no. So I will give rate is equal to models dot text field only. I will give. Done. Go to manage dot make migration. Yeah, I will set as yes. Okay, we'll check what is the issue. Once this is done, I need to go to manage dot py sql migrate the file name. Yeah, here I'm missing the app name. So what is the app name? That is site and the file name. So this is a command you are getting: create table website. The query is what we are run here. We are not run the query using that command, create my sql migrate app name and the file name. You have got this command. Once this is done, I can go to manage dot py migrate. It is showing no migration to apply. Already I have done the changes and I am getting that in my database. But once you run this code in your pro system, you'll get that query is executed, and here in this connect now on pt will this table. This is the destination table what we have worked right now. Good. So this was your practical session on ORM. Tomorrow we are going to working with admin panel. Got? If any queries, you can text me. Thank you.